Woohoo! What is happening? Hi, you guys. Okay, so I think you can hear me. All is well. Welcome. Okay, so my whole body is like shaking and it just started. So, you guys are so powerful. So, when I set this up, nothing was in the way and now it is. So, I'm gonna kind of just mess with this a little bit until it. Okay. Oh my gosh, calm down, my beloveds. I love you so much. Welcome, welcome, everyone. Welcome to Sacred Sunday. It's our first Sacred Sunday. I'm actually really excited about this. Um, as you can see before you, we have this beautiful divine feminine goddess mother altar in front of us. Happy Mother's Day to all. You don't have to be a mother or carry a child in your womb to be a mothering energy. Oh my gosh, I just looked up, it's 111. Okay, so you guys, holy cannoli on a rolly. Powerful. So I called in our ancestors and definitely mine. I would like to throw a shout out to my mom. Happy Mother's Day on the other side, Mom. This is the first Mother's Day that my mother is not alive on planet Earth anymore in her avatar. So I dedicate this episode to my mother, but also to my grandmother, her mother, and my Aunt Kim, the three women who had the largest influence on my life. And without them, I would not be alive. Just true statement, not even an overstatement at all. The shaking is coming from the power of all of us together. When I looked down, it was 0202. Whoa, whoa, whoa. The duality, the divine feminine, the divine masculine. Hello, welcome. If you would like to say, who you are or whatever, feel free to comment. If you don't, just welcome. Hello. A lot's been happening already. So thank you. So glad to have you here today. I am driving in a minute, but I'm listening. Okay, Jessica, but if you're driving, that means you can't comment. Hi, Jess. Welcome and happy Mother's Day, sister. Okay, so and that was no, I don't think you do that, by the way. I don't know why. Speaking of, that's like a mothering thing that I just said to someone. It's so funny. For so many years, people have said to me, "You're not a mother. You're not a mother." And sometimes I feel like part of my blessing of being pregnant, but then my child leaving was so that I could kind of go back and say, I know what that feels like. And I think that there's a lot of interesting, I don't even know the words right now, just uneducated and maybe cruel, awful things people can say to people, especially when it comes to motherhood. There's no manual. Everybody's doing. I'm starting to cry. My goodness. Oh, our ancestors are here. There's no manual, right? You do the best you can with what you got. And for some of us who've never had children and had to mother ourselves, you do the best you can with what you got. And earlier today, one of my favorite souls in the universe. And I know I'm not supposed to say that because all of you guys are my favorite, because you really are. I mean, come on, there's billions of us. We're all just a bunch of cells. But this is somebody who has been there for me for many decades and just has allowed me to be myself 100% all the time, and real, no judgment. You know what I mean? And this morning they sent me such a beautiful message about how much I mother everyone. And a lot of years of my life, I was judged for not being a mother and judged for being selfish. But I was always looking out for somebody. just as others were looking out for me, because that's what we do. We're a community of misfit toys. Interesting. Not all of the toys wanted to come in, but these did. And I had no idea that I was going to cry or be here or like this in this capacity. Of course, as always, I have a plan. I'm going to be this perfect, like, whatever, but it wasn't meant to be that way. You know, that vintage perfume tray was from my grandmother. And it saddens me to say that I don't really have anything from my mom. I think I will eventually. But for now, things are the way they are. I have one picture of my mom when she was little, a school picture, and my mother was always beautiful, but man, she was breathtaking in that photo. And, the innocence and the beauty, and just like her eyes were just glowing with light and love, but also a wisdom because, she's the oldest of six. But anyway, I digress. She didn't want me to bring the picture in. She said that it wasn't about her, which is so awesome. I love her for that. And so today is about all of us. It's about the divine feminine in all of us. Like I said, I've wanted to bring back some type of weekly thing for a really long time, but it just hasn't felt right. And it was interesting to me that spirit led me to look at all these episodes, and I didn't like watch them, but I like kind of, some of them I was just called to like just look at it for a second. But when we did the Soulful Sunday, it was actually called Soulful Smudge Sunday. I had it wrong. and and uh and I couldn't believe that it was 6 years ago. And I was like, wow, that's a really long time ago. I think it was 6 years ago. It was 6 or 7 years ago. By the way, there's an energy here that's coming through. It feels like the divine goddess mother is sitting with us right now. So if you felt something come in very holy, very light, very loving, I felt it too. That is the goddess. That is the goddess. In fact, I feel like she wanted me to bring this out. It is the goddess. She is here with us. And she wants us to know that she knows we're doing the best we can. The divine feminine has been tested and pushed and pulled in ways that we could never imagine. And the divine masculine is also going through the same thing. So they're all here and they're talking to us and they're showing us the beauty and the diversity in all of us. The unicorns, the fairies, the witches, the healers, the deep down believers in magic. Earth is a magical place. It's a training ground of light and love and shadow, of course. But that's the yin and the yang of it, the feminine and the masculine. We all have both. That's why it's vital to look at your birth chart and to get it as precise as possible and find out what time you were born. The truth is, though, things happen, and sometimes they'll say, oh, you were born at, like myself, 7:02. But who's to say that maybe they forgot to look at the clock and they're like, I think it was like 7:02. You know what I mean? You just never know. So, but it's usually somewhere in the vicinity. And if not, you could sit with spirit. But it's vital now for us to start understanding where the divine feminine plays a role in our lives. So when I was pulled to go back to these episodes, so many things came through for myself as well, like just how different I was. And also it made me cry so hard because I realized that that was the last time I saw my mom in person. And it's so hard to believe that. And in a few weeks, it'll be a decade since my father, my birth father, crossed over, and he was 64, which is a 10, which is completion. And my mom passed away last August 18th. And it's coming up on a year. So like in my father's 10th commemorative year, it'll be a year that my mom will have passed. You know what I mean? So I'll always have this like flow of energy. Um, and for those of you, oh my gosh, a robin bird just came in. Oh, and I was just going to say, and for those of you who have lost your parents, especially your mother, it's a tough one. And I think no matter what your relationship is, if they grew inside of you, or you grew inside of your mother, right? So I don't know, that came out first, so that must be for somebody who is a mother. For those who have lost children, it's like that bond will always have that. And thank you to the goddess divine feminine energy. I had no idea. But they want us to break our heart chakras wide open. That's why I asked them today. With the most love in my heart, I said, please, let me be a vessel. Oh, when I looked down, it was 11:11, and then my tears went in my eyes, and I saw 11:13. So those are our master numbers to work with, 11:11 and 11:13. The interesting thing is I felt so strong and powerful, so I really thought this was going to be like super intense, like in a different way. But I see that some people, it is hard for them to open their heart chakra right now. There are a lot of people who are in a very dense, very dark energy, and they may not be able to be here today. I feel like whomever is here live is meant to be here for whatever purpose, whatever is meant to be. And I believe that there's so many of you that are going to watch this because I felt it. I felt you. I felt your guides. And when I was like calling in the spirits and calling in, I felt such an intense energy that I haven't felt in a really long time. So buckle up. Buckle up, Pooh Bear. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's going to be a beautiful, wonderful, magical ride, but this is not for the faint of heart. This is an episode. Sacred Sunday is going to be a place where you are loved, where you are accepted, where you can laugh, where you can cry. It's going to be different all the time. It's literally going to be different all the time. It's something that I hope that we do every Sunday, but when I looked down, it was 13 minutes. I got the vibe that it will happen, organically as it's meant to. But I am definitely feeling that next Sunday, I was like, there's definitely something cool that we're going to be doing, which makes sense because it'll be 14 years that I have lived in the Pacific Northwest. So I'm excited to see what happens with that. Today, we're going to pull from the Witch's Tarot. We're going to pull from the Fairy Tarot. And we're just going to keep channeling energies and entities. And if you have questions, if you have something that you would like to ask Spirit, if you have something that you would like to ask, a loved one who's crossed over, maybe it is your mother or someone who is a mother to you. It could be anything or anyone. However you want to do this, we'll do this. And when we have a lot of people involved and there's a lot of questions happening, they flow the way they flow. Sometimes when we don't have a lot of people show up, the questions that come through are questions that are like maybe many of you are asking and not just one of you. When we do the live energy, I feel like it's for you to tap into what is coming through me because I am a physical medium, and though I am connected to all worlds in all places right now, I am literally connected like to my phone. You know what I mean? Like it's here in this tangible world, in this universe, in this dimension. So we're going to get started. And we're going to see what comes through. There are many energies and entities coming through. I'm working with spearmint energy, and I'm also working with holy basil, Tulsi. So if those are something that you have, you may want to work with them as well while we're working with them. If not, maybe it's something that you were looking for. to work with in terms of connecting with spirit medicine. Also, where I live, it's kind of a gloomy day, but if it's beautiful where you live when this is done, I highly recommend that you connect with nature. And Spirit said, even if it is a gloomy day, you can go outside. That was me projecting my own thing because I was just like, I was outside earlier and I'm like, maybe I'll go out, maybe I won't, you know. But for some of you, I feel like this is a yes, like you need to go outside. So we're going to dive in with the Fairy Tarot. Miracles Now has been something that's been coming through a lot. On the other side of this, it says, I trust that my gut reaction is the truth underneath the surface of my fears. Listen, so this is what the Divine Feminine is trying to tell us, that we do know, a lot of us know, we know the truth. And if some of you wanted to see what this says, oh, you know what? I think I need to move this out of the way. Hold on. They didn't have me put the light on. So it says, honor your divine feminine energy, see your inner beauty, and love every part of you. So I'm getting the vibe for some of you, this is something that's hard for you, loving every part of you. Oops. Yeah, look, I wanted to, you know what's funny is I kept wanting to go towards the butterfly. So I'm just going to let that lie. I'm going to let that lie where it is because maybe, you know what's interesting is that the chrysalis came through in a song earlier. So I feel like for some of you, this is a message from the divine goddess that you're just in the chrysalis phase, okay? That's where you are. And the sooner you recognize that, and for some of you, if you don't understand what that means, I mean, it fell right on the butterfly. And they strategically had me put things in places, you know what I mean? Like, so, you know, I wanted to do this and that, and I kept getting this, like, move this, no, move that, no, move this, no, move that. And I definitely feel like that is meant to be there for a reason. So when I asked Spirit to give a theme, so to speak, or a message from Spirit for this particular connection. Sorry, there's a lot of things coming through. There's a lot of things coming through. By the way, feel free to ask questions if you would like to. If you don't, do not feel like you have to, but if you would like to ask Spirit anything, you're more than welcome to. And I'm pretty sure you can. Hold on, let me just make sure, because I haven't gone live in a long time, and I updated when I got my phone, basically, long story short, the last time I've gone live on my phone through YouTube, the app has changed and upgraded, and so has my phone. So when I was looking at it today, I was like, oh, and I was like, I forgot to check and make sure you guys can comment, but I think you can. So if you can't, I left my phone on. And so if you're somebody who has my cell, you can always text me, be like, dude, it's not on, because then I can turn it on. Okay. But with that being said, I asked Spirit, because, you know, I like to speak through music. And I said, Spirit, what is the theme song for, or what's the theme song, or the theme, or is there a direct message from Gaia, from Divine Mother, you know, energy for us right now? And the song that came on is from Susie Quattro, which if you grew up, I don't know where that came from, but if you grew up watching Happy Days, it was Leather Tuscadero. Hey, you know what I mean? She was the, right? It was Leather? Yeah, I think that was her name, Leather Tuscadero. But anyway, so the song is she's in love with you. She's in love with you. That's something I'll put the lyrics when they have me. I'll put the lyrics below. They had me throw some word and like stuff in the description and title for people to know if they're coming to watch this, to know like what we're, you know, doing. But at the same time, you know me, I go with my own flow of like whatever I'm going into right now. But that song was like so perfect. And I will put the lyrics in the description box after this is over, or they'll have me put a link to the song. But it's so great. because basically that's what Spirit was saying, is that the Goddess Mother is saying to us, like, she's in love with you for all the hard work that you do. I don't need to, know her lyrics. It's like Spirit's saying that the Goddess Mother, divine feminine energy, is saying she's in love with you. 2011. And if you're new here, when I throw out numbers, those, it could be anything for you. It could be a time. 2011 could be 8/11 in military time. You can add them together. It could be, you know what I mean? It could be anything. Uh, so, mm, so Sacred Sunday is the divine connection. The reason why they wanted me to start it this day in particular is because when I was looking back at the Soulful Smudge Sunday episodes, I noticed just how much it started to build and the interaction. And I think that the interaction is what people are really needing and looking for right now, especially for the light workers and the star seeds and the empaths. It's like, I have been deemed the healer for the healers for a really long time. And, there's millions of us. There's billions of humans on the planet, but there's only millions, which is in the smaller percentage, of light workers on the planet. And not all of the light workers are earth angels either. So, you know, there's this very like kind of, when I look down, it was 21. There's this very clogged energy that has been happening all around, and I've been seeing it in social media. I've been seeing it everywhere, and I started to see the patterns of it, and that's one of my gifts, is to be able to see the patterns of things. And so when I saw what was happening, I saw what was happening to me as well. And I don't work on fear-based energy. I'm going to pull this in a little bit, but I definitely felt the fear-based energy from the collective. And my moon is in Scorpio, and in real time, tomorrow is the full moon in Scorpio. And around this time, I tend to be kind of a shit show. And the whole week leading up to this, I was. But then the closer I got to putting this together, the more I transformed my energy into controlling it, and not in like, I'm going to control it, but like controlling my emotions to the point where utilizing them when I needed a good cry, utilizing them when I needed to break through something from my inner child trauma, but at the same time, pulling back, not falling apart completely, being present, connecting to the Divine Mother. 13 is the number of the goddess. Why do you think that 13 has been feared? Why 13 is like literally considered unlucky, that some buildings, they don't even put a 13th floor? That's fucking true. You can look it up. It's it's so interesting that a lot of these governments will say that they don't believe in that, and like, oh, it's a bunch of hooey, blah, 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 blah. But then, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. When the shit gets real, where do you think they go? So we're going to be seeing a lot of interesting things for the rest of this year. And I believe that's why they want us to congregate on Sunday in a different way, because Sunday to me always feels like the end and the beginning, you know? Growing up with the Bible, on the seventh day, the Lord rested, blah, blah, blah. Well, if you started on, Monday, I'm like, okay, I can see that, and the energies and the planets and, working and all that kind of stuff. But I believe in my heart of hearts that Sunday has become just a sacred energy. So when they said Sacred Sunday, that made a lot of sense to me, because I feel like right now we need each other more than we've ever needed each other. And I think that to try and plan what it's going to be would be silly. It's like, it's just going to be what it's going to be. I don't know if they'll have me put episode 1. I don't know. Star date, start date. I love that it starts on 5/11 though, because that is the number 7. It's 5/11/2025, but if you add all the numbers together, it's the number 7. 7 cycles, 7 days in a week. I was just talking about Sunday. And so I just think it's very interesting. But also the number 6 has been everywhere. So technically it's like Sunday's the beginning and the end, and the 6 days in between are like, how we flow with the energy. So I believe that once mankind, womankind, humankind, people kind, world kind, all of it. I think once people start to recognize and realize that we truly are one unit, one spirit, one energy, one entity, one, you know what I mean? Like once we start to really understand that and live it and breathe it and feel it and connect with the earth, that's when it all comes back naturally. So right now, we are at war, but it's a spiritual war because those with the weapons and the guns and the power and I'm going to blow you up and don't test me, blah, 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 and all that that's happening at the core, none of them want to die. All of them want to keep playing on the planet. You know what I mean? So their egos aren't, you know what I mean? Like, this isn't with valor. This isn't like some knight falling on his sword to save his people. These are greedy, very childlike, very sad, damaged, divine feminine, completely ripped out, divine masculine, squished down, lost in an abyss of greed and fear mongering and control and all of these things that we were blessed to learn but aren't meant to use and wield as powers. We come from love. 2622. We come from love, which I believe comes out to the number 5, which is about change and transformation. And that's what's happening on the planet. We're in an upheaval. We're in an upheaval. But I don't want you to have fear because it is literally man-made to control everything that we do. We need to understand the truth that lies beneath the surface. That's why, why do you think fears has been covered? It just says, I trust that my gut reaction is the truth underneath the surface of my, how about faith? And believing. You know, I don't know if this is going to be some type of church energy. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what this is going to be. All I know is that this is a sacred place. And I don't know if it'll always be the same time either. You know, we'll just have to see how things go. But I trust in spirit and I trust in divine timing. And I trust that when they had me go back and look at those things, I was so proud of myself and all the hard work that I did. And I was so grateful to all of you. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being a part of this energy, of this tribe, of this knowing, of this thank you. The divine goddess energy is thanking you. It's because your heart chakra is wide open. Keep that heart chakra wide open. That is what she is calling from us today. When they said started on Mother's Day, I was, hi, Jessica. Oh, who's that? I want to ask the spirit, what is this girl feeling towards me? She used the eye thing. Okay. Hi. Okay, cool. We'll come back to that. Okay. So we're going to stay in the flow of the divine energy and know that we are here to ask questions, yes, but we are also here to connect on a higher level at a higher vibration. You know what I mean? But when you say that, they're having me, hey, you know what? Please continue. I didn't see, it was sad. I don't know if you want to say your name. I can't tell who you're. Okay, do you want to say your name so I can use your name? If not, I can use your handle. Okay, so it's Naad. So is that not, nah, let me, hold on. Let me see if I can get it right. Naiad? Give me an okay, or if Naiad is right, give me an okay. If I'm pronouncing it wrong, give me a thumbs down. Ooh, Abhinav. Ooh, you're laughing. Okay. Why don't you give me a name why don't you give yourself a fun spiritual name or an animal? that you feel connected to right now with this person. And I will get to you, it looks like Michelle, and we will come back to that, I promise. This is so great. Thanks for being here. Ooh, I'm hearing the fairy tarot for you. That's exciting. And it could be anything. I saw, I don't know. I saw wolves surrounding moon 2 days before. So, well, let me tell you something. This is what came out right away. Love, beauty, and planet. So I don't know if that means anything. So we're going to put that with the goddess right now. And this was at the beginning when we started this. And this says crafted and curated for the creative spirit. Ooh, this is getting kind of exciting. I feel like this wants to go over here, but wants to be seen. Okay. So wolves in Native American medicine, wolves are the teachers. So to see wolves is a pretty, can you say where you're from? So I'm going to call you Wolf. Wolf spirit's in the house. Wolf spirit's in the house. Wolf spirit's in the house. That's so cool. You're a teacher. Oh, South India. Oh, hello. Namaste. So, I have to tell you what's really interesting is that my first husband his father was from India, and my married name was Varma. So I have had a deep connection to India for a very long time. I definitely believe I lived in that part of the world, maybe more than once. I always say that they made me white, blonde, blue-eyed, an American girl for a reason. Growing up, I didn't understand, but now I do. You know, it's kind of like the enemy within, but I'm not the enemy. I'm the hero within, but I'm from here. So interesting. Yeah. Oh, Varma's from South India. No. Well, oh my gosh, I love it. Superb. Yes. And the great thing about that is, and so for those of you who don't know, that's like a really big deal. Like, and I will say this is what I was told by my Indian family, was that Varma is like the equivalent of Smith or like Johnson in America. Is that correct? I'm going to call you Wolf Spirit. Is that correct, Wolf Spirit? Ooh, what do you mean by caste? Ooh, I don't know what that means. Feel free to explain that to us. He's saying I'm Nair. Can you guys see the words? I don't know if can you guys see the words on the screen like I can see them? Let me know if you all can, because I will read all their things if you can't. Like I said, I haven't done this in a long time. So I will say this, religions again divided into people of different jobs. Interesting. Okay. You can see? Okay, cool, Michelle. That's awesome. Yay, 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 yay. Awesome, awesome. Thank you for being patient, everybody. I really love that. Thank you so much. But now everybody does the jobs. Okay. Jessica, you can't? Oh, because you're driving. Or no. That's interesting. I don't know. It might be a setting on your phone. Sometimes it's a setting with YouTube as well. So the fact that other people can, that means that it must be everybody. Oh, I found it. Yes. Okay. Yay. Awesome. Okay, cool. So for Wolf Spirit, and I will continue to look at your messages as well, but for Wolf Spirit, I'm going to jump in and say this is the first fairy tarot that came out. You know, it's interesting that they're not having me. Oh, I know why now. Hold on. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Oh, shite. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. I knew they wanted me to bring a candle in, but I didn't know for what or when or how, but now I know why. So I'm lighting this candle for all of us to light the way for your spirit guides. I already did all that, but I'm going to do it again. And I love Wolf Spirit. I love that you are I believe you said a spiritual teacher or healer or leader. So that's really cool. Let me see if I put that there. Is that better? Oh yeah. The little puppet is actually it's a troll doll. Her name is Maddie, and the way she came to me was so crazy and awesome. I will tell that later, but I want to read this to you. So it says, let go of belief systems that no longer work for you, wolf spirit. An important life changing event, a situation that leads to significant opportunities. Oh, yes. Maddie says hello back. So life experience number 16, which also comes out to the number 7. Okay, so I'm going to put this here in front of the crystal ball because I feel like this is where it wants to be. Look at that, of course. And Maddie wants you to see, look at her crystal necklace we made for her. She is really showing it off. Okay, so they want me to tell you really quickly, because maybe this applies to you too, to change your train of thought, wolf spirit, is that it was Christmas time because my birthday's December 13th in America, right? So Christmas, December, everybody, you know, everything's kind of Christmassy. So one of my favorite stores is one of those everything stores. It's called Grocery Outlet, and it's where all things go to die. Well, like when they're about to go out of code or they don't want them anymore, it goes to that store. I love it because it's a great way to like save money, but also like get like really cool stuff. And anyway, long story short, she was in a box on top of these toys in this huge thing. Like, hold on. Sorry, I'm downloading, trying to read and share this at the same time. So basically, long story short, I walked around the store and it was like she was taunting me. She was like in the middle of like the aisle, outside the aisle, you know what I mean, at the top. And there was like a pyramid of toys and she was just like sitting in there and I was really going through like this thing with the Arcturians and I that's when I really like realized that I was an Arcturian and I had no idea. I believe I've been a lot of things, but like I think Arcturian is definitely like my star origin place of some kind. I believe the Arcturians are from the angel realm, or we are the angel realm. I'm not really sure 100%, but anyway, long story short, I kept walking around and I didn't buy it. And it taunted me for like a minute. And then I finally, no, it was before my birthday. That's what it was. It was like the week before my birthday. I saw it. And I said, if it's still here on my birthday, I'm going to buy it. And when I came back, she was still there and I was like, I bought it on my birthday. So she was my birthday present to myself some years ago, but she has become my mascot. And since my beloved familiar Baba died, I have definitely like been hanging out with her a little bit more because Bubba's been coming to me through her and a lot of other things. Also, so let's get back to you. Okay, so I have 4 necklaces. Ugh, I am so sorry if I don't pronounce these right. It's just because I was married to a beautiful Indian soul does not mean I can always pronounce it. Oh, you just turned 30 yesterday? Oh my gosh, blessed birthdays. Many blessings for your birthday. Oh my gosh, many blessings for your birthday. Okay, am I doing this wrong? Hold on, sorry. Okay, so you're talking about that you have red agate, green agate. Okay. I see the villain in the movie Kung Fu Hustle right to Maddie. Oh, um, that is actually Isis. What you're looking at is Isis. That's a necklace that I actually use as a pendulum as well, but she wanted to come in, and Isis is the goddess of love. So all of these things wanted to come in. And interesting because I feel like you asked me about somebody, a person, but I don't know. Do you feel like your question was answered? Greek god. I get it. Okay. Well, this is your birthday present. Happy birthday. Do you feel like your question was answered? You know what's so funny doing it this way is this is how I kind of talk to spirit in my head when I'm doing readings for people. Okay, you do? Okay, you got the message that you were looking for? Okay. Because I was like, the only thing I got was this just came out, 3 of Springs upside down. No, that's okay. So this says, plan your next steps with an eye to the long term. Have patience. There are more good things to come, satisfaction from a job well done. So also it was in reverse. So I don't know if that means anything to you as well, because the fairy tarot is so interesting. It has all different meanings. Also, the spring, is like a water energy. So I don't know if it could be somebody that's a water sign. And since you probably know. But also, I always look at the life experience card, like the tower card, you know? What's assist direct a movie? What? I don't know what that means. You're going to be an assistant director on a movie? I thought you had asked about a person. That's why I thought you were asking about. You know what's so interesting? Oh, that's so awesome. Okay. So this just came out in reverse, the Four of Spring. If this is about a relationship, I feel like, is this person like holding you back, or are they like wanting this with you and you're like not wanting that? Because I just think it's interesting that you got two water cards on either side. And I get this like view of drowning, almost like, and let me just put this out there. If this is about a person or a job or something, I feel like they're just not consciously in the same place that you are. Sorry, what did you say? Spirit? She looks at me. She's working in a supermarket. Oh my gosh. Isn't that weird? They had me talk to you. Maddie caught your eye, and I found Maddie at a supermarket. That's basically what it is. It's mostly food, and well, I guess it's half and half. It's kind of like a small, tiny. I hate to use Walmart or Target or like any of those, but I don't know what you have in India, um, but like but there's like everything there, like so. But that's just interesting. It's literally called grocery outlet. So interesting that you are like having somebody like having an eye thing with somebody at the supermarket. But the other interesting thing is it could be that they're just not at your consciousness level yet. There's a lot coming through, dear. I'm like, there's so much coming through. And it could be, if this is okay, I'm just going to put this out there. This is where you guys have to use your intuition. That's why the intuition card came out at the beginning. This is where you have to use your intuition, that maybe part of Wolf Spirit's reading is your message too. I want to crush on another girl, but she's the one who's given me the eye thing. Oh, oh, maybe that's why that's interesting. Maybe one is like just that, like a fun crush, and one of them's like could be potentially serious, but I still get the vibe that they're like not like ready for that or ready for you. Also, I'm getting from Spirit that I don't know your age. Are you 27? You're attached to one. Which one do you feel attached to? The Four of Spring, which would be this one, or the Three of Spring? The three? You say you're attracted to this one? It's kind of fun. It's like we're texting each other. Are you saying like I was saying I feel like, were you attracted to this card? Oh, okay. Thanks, Michelle. Oh, okay. So this one came out, and again, upside down. What is going on? The High Priestess. What is going on? Okay, so I'm like, there's so much happening. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. We'll get this straight. We'll get this straight. Let's take a breath. Let's take a moment. You look like a witch, an Indian witch. Awesome. So you can say or not say, but Wolf Spirit, it's interesting. Do you consider yourself on the outside man or a woman? You know, I know that that's my very archaic 53-year-old not putting it into, because I'm seeing so many things right now. And so I'm just trying to decipher what's going on. Well, there are no accidents. So if you said which, a wizard. Okay. So you're the divine masculine towards a divine feminine, outbodied. Does that make sense? Because when this first started, I felt divine masculine from you, but then I felt a lot of divine feminine energy around you. So then I was like, well, this could go either way. And because I've been reading, I've read for thousands of people at this point. Interesting. And thank you for being so forthcoming about the aggression part. Maybe that's what it is, because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling this, okay. Oh, you worship Kali Ma. Okay, well, my goodness gracious. My good. Did you grow up with a lot of sisters? Because I just see a lot of, so either you're like really, really, really like outwardly handsome and charismatic, and you have a lot of women who are always looking at you and making eyes with you, which it could be both. It could be both. But that's what I'm seeing, because there's just so much energy. It's almost like I feel like this is you always leading, like, the woman out, like being the hero or something. Like you like the tower moment, you like to play the hero or something. But I feel like deep down you genuinely would rather be this. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is who you really are. Hello, welcome. Okay, this is who I feel like you really are, Wolf Spirit. I feel like this says, be grateful, and be grateful you have much to celebrate. Deep feelings of peace and happiness. I can't read it from that far away. A contented personal life. Yeah, that's what it is. Like, I feel like this is what you want, but I feel like this is what keeps happening. And this came out and it says crafted and curated for the creative spirit. So exactly, you do poems, you dance. I mean, you're just like this like amazing, beautiful, I feel very sexual, like, charismatic, beautiful energy. So you know what? This is going to be a tough one for you to hear, but I think you need to hear it right now. This is your end. This is where you really need to be right now. Sorry, I need to come up here. I don't know what's happening. This camera is not picking up from. So this says, trusting your intuition, careful reflection before taking action, insights that come through meditation. It's the number 2. Right now, I feel like the only thing you need to do is to get you straight. That's the energy I'm getting, is to work on you. Oops. Oh, right. To work on you. And I don't know your age. I saw 27, so I don't know if that's you or them, or I don't know. But also there is this another connection with me too. I can't marry her because she soon's getting married, so she's okay. Maybe that's because that's what I saw. Like, I saw marriage in this card. Oh, you said 30. Gosh, you keep telling me that. And why? So who's 27? Sorry, my love. I'm so sorry. You and Michelle are probably like, I said 30 like 30 times. Are they 27? Yes, that's what it is. I just was seeing 27 over and over and over and over and over. Okay. So that's what it is. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. All right. So interesting. Let's see. Let me ask Spirit. Let's sit with Spirit on that one. Okay. Okay. So the one that's getting married, she's meant to get married. You know, you may have some past life attachment with her. And the supermarket girl, beautiful soul. Spirit says you need to start asking yourself, are you in for a fun time or a long time? Holy shit. They just like literally fucking like literally channeled that. And they want you to start getting real. Are you looking for a fun time or a real time? You know what I mean? And the fact that you got the high priestess energy is the divine feminine calling to you. I feel like a grandmother energy. You're definitely like, I feel like you're ancestral women. Please take this in the light and the love that's coming towards you. Okay. Well, it breaks your heart, but you know what? It's because it feels unfinished to you. And oh, my throat chakra. Have you told her how you feel? Because sometimes you just need to release the energy and let you both go. Does she know? Like, do you guys have some past relationship? They're keeping me very blocked on that. Well, you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Life is funny. And your ancestors are showing me something really beautiful. And I'm seeing the elephant energy, and not just because of the cliche of it. This is very, very sacred in your family. And I'm getting like, you got the high priestess card. So I feel like her getting married. Also, did you notice how when they asked me to zoom in, did you notice how on both sides, like how the women are? You've got one woman here, you got one fairy, beautiful fairy energy over here, who's, you know, in her own world. And that's what this felt like when you said how young she was. This is you what? Okay, yeah, I try to connect. Okay, that's interesting. We'll get to that in a second. But I just think it's interesting that you have, you know, there's nobody else in this card with her. And then this card, there's a couple. This is her Bashert. You know what I mean? Like, this is her person. This is who she's meant to be with right now. I don't know what her future holds, but I can tell you what, this is where she's supposed to be right now. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, and that was yes on the reading. Absolutely. So the high priestess, what I'm feeling for her, for you, wolf spirit, is to, it's interesting that you're engaging with Kali Ma, yet you're missing the whole point of Kali Ma. And the reason why I understand it is because when I was on my spiritual journey, I worked with many teachers from all different backgrounds over my journey, and spiritual teachers, leaders. And when Kali first came to me was when my father died, which it'll coming up on 10 years ago at the end of this month. And I actually wanted to get Kali Ma tattooed on me. I had it all planned out. I had been working with her, researching her, and I have 17 tattoos. And every time I want a tattoo, if it's something that is so very decisive like that, I sit on it for a year unless spirit keeps calling to me and calling to me and calling to me. So I sat with it for a year. When it was done, I asked Kali if it was time for me to get a tattoo, and she said no. And then she explained to me her medicine and the divine feminine energy behind Kali Ma, not just the destroyer energy, not just the, you know, vengeance energy, you know. Oh yes, Michelle, you can definitely ask your question. And I will ask you right after this. We're almost done. We're wrapping this up. Yes, that's good. Exactly. He's working with Kali Ma, or they're working, Wolf Spirit is working with Kali Ma to break away those old energies. Also, yes, calling in your divine masculine, but right now it's your divine feminine ancestors that are calling to you. That's why it's not the high priest that came out, it's the high priestess card that came out. It's the divine feminine energy that they want you to work with. It's Kali's loving divine feminine energy. Like, why did Kali, you know, not just of how she started and rose to be, but like Kali's story of who she was before she became Kali Ma. You know what I mean? So that is your medicine to work with. And that's great that you worship female energies, but I'm getting this vibe that it's almost like whatever, you know, that old saying, whatever you are seeking is seeking you. Well, you're seeking all this divine feminine energy, but yet it's the divine feminine energy in you that is not complete. And I'm feeling some childhood stuff, or maybe it was, how you were raised. I never want to say anything, especially on these live, platforms, but it could be anything. It could be something, it could be one instance that happened at school. Anything can change us. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. Also, Spirit had me put money on the altar to remind us to be abundant and to remember that money is a blessing and not a curse. But look at this. This is how they had me put it on there. Trust. So there's something with the divine feminine energy that some of us are having a hard time trusting right now. That's how it literally why they had me put that out. Yes, Wolf Spirit, I don't know if you know that much about my gifts, but I saw them, and that's why I said I wanted to be very tender about the situation. So I understand. And so many of us have been through traumas that are so deeply rooted. And as light workers, they always say those who, walk what did you say, Spirit? I just posted something in my shorts about this from Mel Robbins, but it's been something that's been going around for a really long time, basically meaning like, with great strength comes great responsibility. So with great strength comes great responsibility. But as light workers, we chose to be incarnated in human bodies and have human lives. How else can we teach? How else can we lead? How else can we show our loving heart to the world if we don't heal that first? So your mission, should you choose to accept it, Wolf Spirit, is to heal the love within. Heal the divine feminine. And to get to bring the divine feminine and the divine masculine, I get that, right? Like, because you wear many masks and many faces. We all wear many masks and many faces. The Jim Carrey reference is perfect, right? We all wear many masks and many faces. I'm going to take this out because I feel like these women are not the issue or the situation. You know what I mean? Like, they're just a symptom and showing of what you're going through. Yeah, we all wear many masks. A lot of, especially light workers and empaths, and we have a lot of narcissists in our lives. We wear these. We have to, right, to survive. So we think, but the whole point is healing through that. And if you watch any of my other episodes or any of our group readings, moving forward, you'll see. If you are here today, you were brought here for a reason. It's time for a change. Even down to Maddie. Maddie really wanted to be in here, she wanted for you to have that connection, and maybe for somebody else as well, the Arcturian energy. But the divine feminine is calling to you now, Wolf Spirit. Everything will work itself out. But call upon your female ancestors. Today in real time is Mother's Day in America. And that's why Spirit had me do this, because my mother passed last August, and I wanted to do something to honor her and the other ancestral women, the witches, the healers, and the deep down believers in my family that were, they were literally repressed by their religion. I wasn't allowed to be myself. I had to stop talking to my family. My mom died and I wasn't there. And these women were very close to me. My aunt died, I wasn't there. My grandmother, I was blessed to be there 4 days before she died, and I wanted to stay, but my grandfather was like, just go home, she could be this way forever. Oh, good. That's nice. Wolf Spirit said that they posted pictures of their mother and grandmother on their Instagram today. That's beautiful. So that's what they're trying to tell us, and that's what they're telling you. I can see the statistics and the people, like, who want to be seen kind of thing on my, what they call like the YouTube, I forget what you call it, but I can basically see like what's going on. And long story short, I was kind of taken aback at how many men we have on this channel, subscribers. And I thought for sure they were going to have me like put my face on here, but I feel like that's not what this is for. This is about us connecting to the divine feminine today. This is about connecting to our ancestor today. This is about getting the messages that we needed today. And for our dear wolf spirit, a birthday present. So good night. Thank you so much for being here. We love you so much, wolf spirit. Happy birthday. And blessings, blessings, blessings to all of our family who are going to bed now. and so we will stop there with Wolf Spirit and Michelle. If you would like to, let me see if I can find your question again. But you can post it again as well. You know what? I hate to be a pain in the arse. Okay, here we go. Yay. Okay. Okay, so Michelle says, I've been stuck with my meditation because I feel like nothing is really happening in regards to developing my spiritual abilities. Oops. Why does it do that? Does my spirit guides have anything to say to me about this? Okay, first of all, let's take this other stuff out and start fresh. I'm going to leave that there because this is Toad the Wet Sprocket. Oh, look at that. It's just sitting there perfectly with Maddie. Okay, so I'm going to put these here and here. Let's see who wants to speak with you. Okay, so Spirit. We're connecting with Michelle's guides. And she's asking about her meditation practice and her gifts. I'm going to take a sip of water. Hold on. Okay, drink some water, everybody. Oh, Michelle, you're a powerful witch. So strength was upside down. Look at how they're looking sideways, but it's also number 11. Okay, so you're an earth angel, and I feel such a strong pull. You may even be a Leo, or you have Leo heavy in your chart, because one minute I was looking at your eyes, kind of looking a little fearful to the side. Why won't it? And then I went straight for the Leo, or straight for the lion. It could be a Leo in your life too. So anyway, it says, hold on. The grace and inner strength. Why won't it go into focus? It's kind of making me mad. Hold on. Good night, wolf spirit, sweet dreams. Okay, sorry about that. I don't know. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm just going to read it and let you look at that for a second. I'm going to read it and then put it out there. Okay, it says, the grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges, the power of kindness and forgiveness, time to embrace how wonderful you are. Oh, my beautiful souls. I can see why Spirit has, I totally understand why you guys are here right now. And this is why I started my channel so many moons ago, because so many light workers are we've been abused, we've been tortured, we've been raped, we've been molested. We've gone through some of the worst, most horrible things that any human could ever go through. And as hard as this is to hear, we were meant to go through those things so that we can communicate and connect with humanity. You're an earth angel. You know what's interesting, Michelle, is, and I hope that's the name you want me to use because I saw it on there, is that your connection to spirit is, let's put it this way, you're so powerful. You're so powerful that you could see the future if you wanted to. Like you could see, I wouldn't be surprised if you are a reader or you already know this. But there it's almost like it's like the kid on Christmas that's like has telepathic abilities and the spirit, and the parents are like, don't even go down there because you're going to be able to look right through the box. They have to get like lead boxes because like the kid has like supernatural powers. He can see his gifts. They can't give him a surprise because it's kind of, that's what I feel like is what's happening with you. And I feel like you're meditating on like trying to expand your gifts, but like they're like, you're not ready yet. You're just not there yet. And you will. You're actually really close. Like I'm literally like hearing like knocking and like the song like knock knock knocking on heaven's door. Like you're so close. But they have to work really hard. Oh, you do have abilities, honey. You have very, 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 very powerful abilities. I literally just like my knuckles just cracked when I was like, my hands were in like a prayer thing and like, no, you are so powerful. And I think that actually, I don't like to use fear-based words, but I'm going to use what came from your energy, which was, I feel like it frightens you a little bit, how scary you understand things or get things. You do have gifts. But the only reason why you don't see things a certain way is, yeah, you need to work with your chakras. You need to get balance. It's kind of like, it's like if you're going on vacation, you know, yeah, you can take an airplane to your destination, or if it's all land based, or maybe it is land and water based, you could take your car and take the long way there and you get to see all the really cool things all along the way. Or you could take the easy 2 hour flight, you miss everything and you get to the end. It's kind of like, I feel this very like beautiful energy from you of light and love and happiness and joy. And right now you're in shadow and you're working through a lot of things that, and I almost feel like this is like a protective energy, like you called in like some spirit or something like to protect you. Or maybe that's what you're trying to do in meditation. I don't know. If I'm being honest and I'm saying this with love, your energy's all over the place. And I felt that energy right before this started, like just a few minutes before. Like I had a hard time even like setting it up. My hand was shaking so bad, and it didn't start shaking until now. So I don't know. I'm hearing. I don't know if you do these things. So I'm just hearing no caffeine, no coffee, no green tea unless they're decaffeinated. Like I'm hearing no real sugar. You're so, I get the vibe. You're like a powerful empath. I mean, obviously, if you're an earth angel, you're an empath. So you're feeling all these energies and these, yeah, you're right. So you're trying to protect yourself with your crystals, and you're opening, well, your Kundalini, that's interesting. I'm glad that came back up because I saw it the first time, but it's kind of tying back in now. That's what's happening right now is, that's why you were drawn to come here today and why spirit wanted to do this today while we're in this very deep, co-created energy for Mother's Day of this divine feminine energy. Yeah. You're not born with anxiety. None of us are born with anxiety unless you, sadly, and if you were, then I apologize, but yes, there are some babies. um well, I'm glad you found your way here because this is where you were meant to be, and I'm so glad you're here too. But there, that is like, that seriously makes me want to almost cry for you because there's no way, shape, or form that you have anxiety that was like born to you. If anything, you may have had an anxiety ridden parent. Well, if you've always had anxiety, then it came from something. You know what I'm saying? Or I was starting to say earlier that some babies are born from parents that were addicts, and so they're born with like certain like tremors or nervous disorders. So that could be something like that. And if that's the case, then we should be addressing like, getting you working with herbs and certain things like that. But right off the bat, spearmint came in today, so you may want to work with spearmint. So if they weren't addicts, then somebody like, is there anybody in your energy that's kind of like always worrying or overly concerned or over mothering? because, they had me do this today and you found this today. So, I don't mean to like put you on the couch and be like, so how was your relationship with your mother? You know what I mean? Like, I don't want to Freud you, but at the same time, there's a reason for it. Did you say just me, like you're the only one that had anxiety? Okay. For a minute, I'm like, you're the only addict? Okay. So do you remember the age that you were when the anxiety started coming on? Holy basil as well. So spearmint and holy basil. Now these are just a lot of people, they gift me things. So these were gifted to me, my friends and clients who are doTERRA reps. But you use whatever you need. Fresh spearmint is the best way to go. Fresh holy basil is the best way to go. But I would say, um, wow. So I'm getting, it's time for you. Are you 25, Michelle? I just saw 25. I had it as a child. Wouldn't buy an ice cream for myself. Made my little brother do it. So did you not buy it because you didn't want to be around, like because you didn't want to? This is very interesting. 35. Okay. So I saw 25. So did something happen when you were 25 though? Like that maybe like is this when you branded yourself anxiety? Do you know what I'm saying? Did the labels start to come about? Because, a lot of people started giving themselves labels because it made other people feel better. And it made them feel better to have a label to say, oh, I can't do this, my anxiety, or oh, you know what I mean? And people are like, oh, that's cool. That's all right, because 25 came out really strongly. Oh man, you're all across the board. Interesting we started your reading in the ones because like when I saw it, it was like 110 and it was like, and then it was like 111 and then it was 11111. So meaning on the time running on the live. Wow, that's really powerful. Oh no, I understand. Oh my God, I literally was going to say when you were 8. I swear, and I swear that is all is holy. And I know I don't have to say that, but I was going to say when you were 8 years old because that's one of my things in my practice. If you follow that, I say, that's one of the things when people, especially people who struggle with disorders and things like that of any kind, children with autism, all different. I've worked with so many different, but when I have having a hard time connecting, having them connect with where the root of their issue is, I like 9 out of 10, 99.9% of the time, Spirit will have me ask them, what did you want to be when you were 8? What happened to you when you were 8? 8 is a very pivotal age. And interesting that today is a 7 day, and 7 is about going in cycles. And something, when I was asking you about the ice cream, okay, so walk with me here down memory lane. So when I was asking about the ice cream, I want you to try and remember, what was it? Was it that you didn't want to touch the person that was giving the ice cream? Or was it that you didn't want to be near the ice cream person or the truck? That's the first question I want to ask. We're going into the Witch's Tarot, by the way, which doesn't surprise me. Because the reason why I'm asking these, and you can, respond whenever, but the reason why I'm asking is because a lot of times empaths, sensitives don't like to be touched. You were scared to say anything or having to answer him if he asked something. Okay, so I saw that you've always been quiet. So you said him. Have you always, has there been a dominant masculine energy in your life? Because my hand feels stuck to this card, but they're not having me pull it out yet. But they are having me put the rose quartz on it, so that's interesting. Was there a strong divine masculine force in your life? Now, they don't have to necessarily be mean. They could just be curt or not very affectionate, but there's a fear based around the ice cream man. So I asked that because there's a lot of things that could be happening. Did you ever have, or I mean, obviously you had a mother, you're here, but I'm saying, like, is your mother still with us? Has she passed over? Because no one's talking to me right now. And that is one of my gifts, but no one's talking to me right now. Because you said I have my dad. So, like, and I don't know if it's a language barrier, if you're having a hard time. Okay, so your mom's still here. So you said you have your dad, but is your dad a strong authority figure in your life? You know, it was like your dad, the man of the house, laid down the law, stern hand, or a grandpa or somebody. Because we don't, the only time we have any type of fear based energy towards a specific, especially in that situation, because you're 35 gender, right? Like your thought went to a man, it was an ice cream man. He was just a normal man, I guess. No, my mom is mostly in charge. Okay. So, well, there's something to do with that. So it could be a teacher, it could be a religious figure in your life, it could be anything. It could be, and if you don't want to say, you don't have to, but you maybe you have somebody who was inappropriate with you that was a friend of the family or somebody in your family, an uncle or somebody, because I just find it interesting. Now, I'm not implanting, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I would never do that. Like, that's not my, this isn't some talk show from like the 80s trying to like plant seeds of things that didn't happen. I'm just saying that I'm trying to get to the root of it if it's the man part, because if not, it could have been an ice cream woman, but maybe it's something about the truck. Maybe it's something about, because it also, so hear me out, because it also could be because you're so psychic and you have such strong abilities that maybe you felt an icky energy for that man. Maybe he was a child molester. Maybe he, and I'm saying this to you because growing up, I didn't know what the fuck I was. I didn't understand my gifts. No one was like talking me through this shit. I didn't come out of a box like this. This is years and years and years of studying and walking with spiritual leaders and mentors and teachers, shamans, whatever labels you want to say. Not realizing it. I've been molested. I've been raped. I've had so many things happen to me. I needed to find out and get to the core of like where my anxiety was, where my depression was, you know. Somebody once said that depression is lingering in the past and anxiety is obsessing about the future. So if you claim it to be anxiety, and I felt that energy, I felt that like, because literally one of my spirit guides, like it was getting so bad that like I couldn't like hold the phone, and one of my spirit guides was like, it's your fucking show, like if you're late, you're late, like nobody's gonna be mad at you. And I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm like, I don't understand. And I really was like, what is going on? And I felt your anxiety so strong, and all I kept hearing was like, I'm gonna be late, I'm not gonna be there on time, I'm not gonna. So like there's something about that. There's an obsession about being perfect, or an obsession of some kind that's tied to that anxiety. It may not be yours. It could be somebody else in the tribe. We've had other people watching this, and there's other people who will watch this. You know, just because it's coming through on your question doesn't necessarily mean, you know, let me see. So it says, no, it's more like I've always been super sensitive and shy, and I didn't like attention. I didn't talk in school, only when I had to. Yeah, because wherever you come from, you're an overthinker too. My neighbors gossip a lot. I don't like it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Because you're such a bright light. Yeah, you know what? I mean, this is what I'm saying. All I know is that because we're connected, because wherever two or more gather, like witches, healers, and deep down believers in magic, like however you want to say it, but whenever two or more gather, we really, it's like there are no more walls or barriers or boundaries. Like, you know, we see what we see the truth. And part of my work here on earth is I'm a human bullshit barometer. That's like my job. So when you first showed, when you ask a question or when you say something, you give me the visual of what you see. So I literally saw you and your brother. I saw your hesitation. I almost saw like, it almost looked like you guys were like, oh, the ice cream man, and you're both running out, but it's almost like you're like an invisible wall that like stops you from like getting closer to other people. That's actually, that's your gift. You've known since you were a young age, like that you're really, really powerful, but it's almost like, have you ever seen the X-Men? And I can't think of the name of her character, and I can't think of the actress's name, but all I can tell you is she was Sookie in True Blood. And if you guys know her name, please put it up here. I can't think of her name right now. But her character in the X-Men was she couldn't touch people because when she touched them, she would kill them. unless they like some of them had some people she could because they had supernatural powers that like it didn't bother them. Suki. Yeah, yeah. Oh my God, I fucking love you, dude. I bet we'd have so much fun hanging out. Exactly, Suki. But you know, that's very real. And you know, she's so sad and her parents like send her there and it's like that's what I feel like we are right now. A lot of us have like been hiding and it's time for us to come out. And it's time to learn how to use. I know True Blood is like one of my favorites of all time. There's so many metaphors for humanity and like supernatural. It's amazing. You're so funny. You're like, and I'm a woman. I felt that. I definitely felt that. Well, that's why, because when we were reading for Wolf Spirit, there were so many energies and entities coming through, but there was so much feminine energy coming through. It was overwhelming. So I just wanted to make sure that because growing up, like 9 of my closest friends were all over the planet, meaning like gay, straight, bi, transgender, you know what I mean? So it's like, I feel energy. And so it doesn't always equate the same when they're all flooding in like that. But like now it's like kind of like mellowed out. But yeah, I'm like, Wolf Spirit, you're carrying Kali Ma. I mean, come on, man. Fucking, that's really serious. But that's okay if that's what they need. And maybe that's where you were meant to hear that, Michelle, because Kali Ma might be a really great energy and goddess for you to work with to help build your strength. I mean, the interesting thing is like the very first card you pulled was the strength card in number 11. Like that's the angel card, and it's about grace and inner strength. But see how she's side-eyed? It's like, I feel like that's you. Like you're always kind of like, you're not really trusting people. And that's okay because that's part of your gift is to see beyond it. Like, look at Maddie. Like, hold on, look at Maddie's like looking over. I just made this funny little shorts for my other channel, Lulu's Labyrinth, because I'm silly and I love to inspire people. But I just made one with her, kind of like that, with I always feel like somebody's watching me, right? And I feel like that's like with you can go into a room fully made up, or you can go into a room completely like no makeup, your hair and a, bun on your head, comfy clothes, whatever. And you're still going to shine that bright because you are just that powerful. Well, but you know what? The hermit mode is okay because that's where you're gaining your strength. That's where you're gaining your insight. Like you were drawn to this today. I was drawn to go live today. Like I cannot even tell you. Like, I mean, and it made sense because like I said, my mom, my whole family were super, super religious. And I had to stop talking to them because I wasn't even allowed to talk about what I am. I mean, they're Southern Baptists and it's like, if it's not in the Bible, it didn't happen. And I'm a fucking heathen and like, I'm run by demons. And I'd cry to them and be like, but you see my heart, you see how beautiful I am. Like, this is me. Like, this is me. And they're like, no, like I was possessed. And when I was like 5, when I was a little girl, I was constantly like demons were trying to take over my body. But I went through this period when I was 5 where they kept trying to possess my body. And I think that there was a part of my mom that was genuinely, truly afraid of me. Oh, my mom just said I was. Yeah, because my head would like go back and I'd be like, and I would like go into like tongues and shit. My mom's like, what the fuck? And it was like, I was like swallowing my tongue, and my mom was like, what is happening? Like, this is a really scary, scary place. But it took me years. I'm 53. Like it's taken me years to get to this point. I'm sorry. What did you say, Michelle? But when will I actually hear my spirit guides or other things like super obvious things? You do. You hear them all the time. That's what led you here today. What led you here today? Something led you here today. You know what I mean? So you were led here today for a reason. You absolutely, positively have a path and a purpose here. And let's start. This one keeps calling to me. Oh, look at these reverse cards today. What's happening? Okay, so we got the Knight of Cups. But it's in reverse, right? Because he's going in the other direction of your strength. So I'm going to leave that there for a second because they're going to probably have me read from the book. Oh, they said right side now too. Okay, so we've got the Knight of Cups in reverse. Oh my gosh, and the Moon. Oh my goddess. Okay, so do you know what day of the week you were born on? If you don't, all you have to do is put in your birthday, like, like I'm December 13th, 1971, and I would just put that in, and then I'd say day of the week, and it would come up Monday. So, I mean, Also, very interesting that this is 18 and my mom died on the 18th, August 18th. So I feel like the witches are here to show you, oh, they're here to show you a light out of the tunnel, out of the darkness. Oh, I love it. I love it. I don't even know if they're going to have me read the book. That might be like further, like, I don't know. We'll see what they say. Um, but the moon is definitely calling to you. Also, tomorrow is the full moon in Scorpio in real time. So it may be this is the time you're going to connect. No, but it's the 23rd June, the day they burned the witches on the fire. What the fuck? I mean, see what I mean? Like when people tell me stuff like that, I'm like, come on. Like, like, how do you know that information? I don't even know that information. I probably should, but I don't, right? Hello. Um, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello. We're doing a reading for Michelle right now, and then we have a reading right after that. I forget. My gosh, is it Kunti or Kunti? I don't know, but you can tell me. They do it every year here. Where are you from, Michelle? That is so powerful. You know, Spirit, I really wanted to start at 11:11. They were so like serious about me starting at noon. So, you know, we're all connected here at this time for a reason. Denmark. I knew it. You know, well, I saw your name. So I saw that. Is it, hold on, I don't have my glasses on. Is it off Ufengard? What do you mean not real witches? Of course you're real witches. Witches are everything. Witch, do you know that witch literally translates to the word healer? And all witches come from the angel realm, which are healers. You just come from the angel realm. Like I said at the beginning, you're an angel. Olengard. Oh, but I know it's probably like really cool, like Olengard or so. I would like to like, you know, hear you say it right now in my head. Oh. Oh, you're saying your people burn witches in Denmark. Well, they burn witches everywhere. I'm sad to report. Which is why a lot of people are in hiding and in fear because of being burned alive. It's like, yeah. But honestly, Michelle, like they burn them everywhere. I'm from America and we had the fucking Salem witch trials on the East Coast. Do you want to hear something interesting? This is not a lie. Okay. This is the truth. I have traveled quite a bit in my 53 years and I have been to 35 of our many states. And I can tell you right now that every single time I tried to go, the furthest I've ever been able to go was Philadelphia. I could not go to New York. I could not go to Salem. I could not go. I couldn't. I literally like. I've tried to go to New Orleans. Every time I've tried to go to certain places in America that were really tied to witches or burning of witches or covens or anything like that, I mean, I'm talking like 5 times, and like my flight was canceled, or like I have my work was like, I know you said you could have that time off, but you have to work that week. Can we move your, you know, we'll pay for your. I mean, it's just crazy shit. And then one day, randomly, just fucking walking through a town, this woman comes up to me and says, "Wow, you're so witchy." And I said, "So are you." And she was really witchy, and she said, "Have you ever been to New Orleans?" And I said, "No." I said, "I." She goes, "Don't. I mean, you can't." And I was like, what? And then I was telling her, like, because I have all these, like, my past, I've gone through so much past life stuff. And I knew. I've got a lot of family in the South. So I don't know what the fuck happened. But when I watched I don't know if you guys get the American Horror Stories over there, but if you've never seen the American Horror Stories, the season of The Coven, I think it's season 3, you have got to watch it. It'll change everything for you. I swear to God. So long story short, what I'm trying to tell you is that there are places everywhere that have killed and burned religious teachings, healers. I mean, look at Jesus. I have a very like when people show in vampire movies when they put the cross up and the vampires like like they're like no, like I feel like that with crosses too, but for a completely different reason, because I'm like, if that's where he really died and that's how it happened, I'm like, I don't, why would, that's horrible. He was murdered and tortured on 2 sticks that they made into a cross. You know what I mean? Like, to me, I don't understand that. Like, I don't understand that. I'm like, if someone died in a car crash, I wouldn't carry around the fucking picture in a locket and be like, oh yeah, look, this is where my Lord and Savior died, in their terminology, you know what I mean? Like, then people be like, oh my God, with like mangled blood. And I think there's like something, there's just something very tied to it. And they've tried to control us for many, many millennia, to not practice spirit, basically the word of God, which is love. God, goddess energy, whatever you believe, tie into, whatever that is something they've been trying to crush out of us. And just like where you are in Denmark, right? Like you can look at Denmark and be like, oh, look at how beautiful. I've been to the Netherlands. I'll tell you what, I did this really cool thing from like, I flew into London, but couldn't get out and see places. It's a long story. But anyway, but I was there. I was all up through from Paris up through Belgium and the Netherlands, and the only place I really wanted to go to Sweden so bad, and I didn't get up there. But long story short, what I noticed is that no matter where you go, no matter what country you're in, no matter in the United States as well, no matter what states you go to, there is always an oppressive energy. There's always going to be some type of oppression that's going to try and control us. There's always going to be something, and it is our job to push the light forward. And if you found yourself here today, I mean, look at today. We our first reading was with Wolf Spirit from India, and now we're working with Michelle in Denmark. That's why I'm so grateful that you guys tell me where you're coming from, because it's important for us to see that no matter where we are, our little links of light are connected. We're connected to each other. We knew each other in another life, in another experience. I have a very strong tie to the Viking culture. My partner's family is Viking. It definitely is Viking in their family. Where I live in the Pacific Northwest is literally divided between like the Vikings and the Native American. I'm Cherokee. My partner is Native American. His family's from up here. I mean, there's just so many things that are happening. Hold on. My landlord came by and I told him that I was going to be live today, and I probably should have asked him not to text me, but that's okay. He doesn't know what's going on. I told him that I can't. I probably should have said, talk to my partner, but I can't. Hold on. Let me see. Can I get out of here? Can you guys still hear me? Okay, it went away. So hold on. Let me see what you said. Sorry. You know what's so funny? It's something told me to message him, but I guess it'll just be a lesson learned. Now it's like, okay. Yes. So we are all divinely connected. Even that with my landlord, right? He's a powerful light worker. He's a powerful, powerful light worker. And even though I told him that my phone would be off. So he's just messaging me because he's here probably. You know what I mean? Like I didn't communicate properly. Communication is a really big thing with us. And it's interesting that like, even that's coming in right now when we're talking about communication, because you're saying you're trying to find your gifts through meditation, you're trying to communicate with spirit, but you are communicating with spirit all the time, every minute of every day. The only thing is that you're turning away from your gifts, Michelle. You're like, no, bye-bye, I don't want to. And like, but this is who you really are. You're the Knight of Cups. And you're on a journey. That's another thing too. And I say this with all respect. You didn't pull the King of Cups. You pulled the Knight of Cups, right? So you're not quite there yet. And this is the first time they're having me read from the book. Let me go and find it. It's so funny. I get these things from spirit where I'm like, should I do this? Should I do that? And I literally had a completely different text created for him that was like, blah, 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 because I didn't remember if I go live, if I go and do not disturb, if it would, and if you guys would be able to comment, and I didn't want to like mess things up. So this clearly came through for a reason. There's something going on. Maybe it's also, are you having a lot of interruptions, Michelle? Are you like, maybe you stay secluded because you can't get your thoughts and your energy grounded and straight. That's very interesting. When the card is in reverse, I always read that meaning first. So this says, an unfaithful man, vanity, deception, a womanizer, and a sycophant. Ooh. So, so this is interesting. So this could be, if this isn't somebody in your life right now, there's definitely somebody in a past life energy or something. Because I went back to the ice cream man. Instantly, when it said man, I went to the ice cream man. So, remember this, that when you're a seer, if you don't understand your gifts, you could be seeing a lot of different things all at once, but not understanding what's happening. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you could have seen the ice cream man as like a sycophant, or like, I don't know if you know what that means, but like, you know what I mean? It's like there's just so many things. Yeah, it could be your ex with the narcissistic traits. It could be these are the people that you attract, so you stay close to your chest, right? Like you keep your cards close to your chest because you're like, no, I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to, but what happens is a lot of times we end up having these energies and these entities that come into our lives that are lessons, that are our teachers. I mean, even just now with my landlord walking back and forth, you know what I mean? Like it could be something. I mean, he's a lovely man, but you know what I mean? Um, but I feel like I just feel this disruptive energy. Because when I first saw them walk by, I didn't think anything of it because my drapes are up and I can just kind of see their shadow. And I was like, cool. I knew that they were coming today. I told them, that I was going to be doing this. Um, and so I saw them walk there and then I saw them walk back, whatever. And then they messaged me about something that clearly is actually for my partner, not for me, but they like reached out to me, you know? So, okay, dear one, wait till it's your turn, but I promise we will get there. And it's better to like, because when I'm reading for someone else, it's kind of like, let's put it this way. If I was reading for Michelle and we were all in a room together, you wouldn't like come in and be like, oh, hey, by the way, here's my question for me, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't do that, right? Because you would wait your turn and whatever. So, the only reason why I say this is because you're really powerful too. And your energy just kind of like pushed me to the side. And I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Who lives above you, Michelle? You said something about somebody lived above you and then it faded away. Are they a Pisces? Your ex lives above you? He's in Aries. Okay. Because the astrological sign with this card is a Pisces. That's so interesting. Well, that makes sense. And Aries, I mean, I never like to like just go by someone, whatever, because oh yeah, and look at that. Because I was just gonna say, Aries is fire and you're water, but there's always our other signs too, right? Our moon, our rising, our sign, like that kind of thing. Um, but yeah, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. No wonder why you're in hermit mode. You probably don't want to run into them. You don't want to have a confrontation. You're non-confrontational. I mean, in cancers, and I don't care, in my experience anyway, every cancer I've ever known, no matter what their moon, rising, whatever is, they all seem to have that same kind of like, your home is your sanctuary, that kind of basic cancer energy. And so, yeah, that's, I heard move out. Move out, move out. Yeah, like that's, oh my gosh, no. What is happening there? What is happening there? What is happening there? What is happening there? So on the upright, it says a romantic young man, romance, proposition, or a tryst, chivalrous act, integration of the divine feminine, dreams, a quest, movement, and travel. The air element or the elements are water and fire. Water is the suit of cups related natural element, while all four of the knights are associated with the energetic element of fire. So this could be for both of you, but it was in reverse. So that's interesting. And then feeling like this energy, oof, boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I feel like they want to leave it there. Let me see. I feel like, are you feeling overwhelmed right now, Michelle? That's the kind of energy I'm getting. Because if you're not connecting and you're not like, it's all happening because you're not grounded. And if you're not I mean, there's so many things. It's like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense. I don't want to talk to him, but I still answer. No, he starts to say hello. Okay. So he starts to say hello. Whoops. No, he starts to say hello, but I don't want to talk to him, but I still answer. Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. That's a tough one. That's really a tough one. I mean, you know what spirit's going to tell you. I mean, you got to get out of there. It's not a healthy place for you. I'm going to ring a little bell. I mean, the fairies are coming in. You also came to this reading for a reason. You picked the fairy and the witch tarot, right? Like with the first one, we didn't pull the witch, we pulled the fairy energy, but this one it's like, yeah. Is there a roommate? I'm seeing the color green too. I don't know what that means to you. But I'm seeing nature. But I do feel like finding the right community and the right people to help you find the light out of the darkness kind of thing, the light out of the shadow. Yeah, you know what? I don't feel okay, well, I get that, but if they're not going to move and it doesn't feel, you know what I mean? Sometimes we have to do the hard stuff. And I don't know how long you've been here, or if this is your first time here. Um, oh, green's your least favorite color. It could be a family thing, but green is the color of the heart chakra. So maybe they're just saying for you to work with the heart chakra. I was going to tell you to wear more green, but if that doesn't feel good to you, also look at this. Look at how Spirit had me strategically put this. And if you've been watching this, I haven't moved anything. They had it buried for a reason. I kept trying to have it come out. So there's something to that. Also, I'm hearing to move. I don't know if you live in a city or like a neighborhood, but I'm hearing like living in nature would be better for you, which is why the witch is in the woods. I'm feeling like that. There's a few different things coming through, and I just want to make sure that I'm getting it right before we... Okay, yeah, those are all the messages they're having me put. All of a sudden, it's like the vault went down. So those are all the messages I have today. So you're in a small city. Yeah, in an apartment. That's what I figured. So that's just what I'm getting from Spirit. So we'll wrap it up here. I'm going to leave it here. And I'm going to say, you know, moving is... Because when we move, we don't just move ourselves, we move our energy, right? And so this is about, I mean, why do you want him over you? And fire puts out water in a way, right? Like if you're like, they're hovering above you, you can't put them out unless you're rain, right? But I'm just getting this, no, it's time to go energy. And I have moved over 30 times and lived in 5 states, and that's my path, that's my journey. But I can tell you, as a healer and a witch, like a lot of us tend to move more than other people because that's like part of our journey, part of our purpose. Also, I think it's interesting that you've got no, you can't just protect yourself with crystals. I mean, and I know that sounds like, I mean, let's put it this way. And I'm going to say this with all due respect, watch more of my videos, you know, because there's so many things that you can do. Doing a cord cutting with him would be really good as well, your own. I'm going to be, you know, so stay tuned for Sacred Sundays. I'm going to be doing this every Sunday as long as Spirit calls me to. But also, sometimes it won't just be asking questions like this. Sometimes it's just going to be like, you can ask Spirit questions, but it's not going to always be personal. I don't know how it's going to go. Today, I felt this energy to be pulled to do it like this, but it's not always going to go down like this. So just an FYI. Yeah, the cord cutting would really be helpful. And so either we can work together one-on-one outside of this, like we can do something through Zoom or like a phone call or something like that, or I could do a recorded reading for you. Those are usually like even, you know, half the price of my regular rate. And those are nice too, because you can just give me a bunch of questions and then like I just record the video and you don't get to interject, but like you'll get your answers anyway. You know what I mean? Because you're there with me. You're just not there with me. But anyway, so I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much for coming by, Michelle. We love you. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And thank you for Wolf Spirit for sharing your story with us. And we're going to move on to our next. And I don't know how we're going to, is it? Oh, it's country. I thought oh my gosh, how funny. I was saying Kunti or Kunti. So it's country. Okay, but it's country with a K. That's funny. Country Love Homestead. And so you were interjecting in Michelle's reading, but I want to go back to that because it was important to you too. So that's how I feel when my dads and brothers come around my house. Something about them disrupts my energy. Yeah. Okay. So if you're dealing with dominant families and dealing with dominant masculine, oh, it's your turn. I'm so sorry, and you're so welcome, Michelle. Thank you for being here. It is my divine pleasure. And you're welcome for the debut. Yeah, we used to do I used to do a segment. Sorry, it's my charger. I'm trying to keep it on the charger because the live really drains my phone. Um, we used to do this many, many, many moons ago, and it was called Soulful Smudge Sunday. And we did a lot of different things. But then when Spirit called me to do this, I wasn't sure how it was going to go down. So I was pleasantly surprised to see that we were going to have readings. I thought that was like really cool. Anyway, hi Jessica. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being here. And Jessica, I don't know if you want to ask anything, but you can go after Country. I don't know if anybody's after you, Country. Okay, so you'd like to ask, what does the future look like for the connection between DJ and I? Okay. This is a big one. I feel this. So Spirit, we closed the portal for Michelle and we're opening the portal with Country Love, and we're asking, Country Loves is asking, what does the future look like for her connection or their connection with DJ? Okay. Oh boy. So it's not always lost. Okay. So there's a third person involved here. We've got the Three of Swords in reverse. There's a third party here. Now, I don't know the story yet. So before we, let me see if there are any more cards that want to come in from that. Okay. Not from that. And let me see. Ooh, there are things on the bottom, but they're not having me go to that right now. And let me see if there's any messages. The same question to the fairies. Okay, that one came out and that was in reverse. Okay, so the Four of Autumn. And autumn is our fire signs too. I mean, obviously autumn is, self, but it's the fire energy. So we could be dealing with Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. But it was in reverse. And I'm going to read this one. And it says, marriage. Hold on. I'm sorry to leave you hanging there, my friend. I'm like, all of a sudden, it's weird. Oh, here it is. I was going to say I had my glasses, and then the typing is so small on here. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, Freudian slip, marriage. That came out, and I don't believe there are any accidents. Okay, so manage your resources wisely, achieve a balance in how you spend and save money, help out those who are less fortunate. Okay, but what's going on with, there's something going on here where, see how like their face almost has like a little face of superiority, and this one has a face like they're looking down, like, where they're like, oh, hail the queen, like when the queen walks by, like you're not allowed to make eye contact. Like there's something going on there. So it was in reverse, but I'm going to keep it up in case, the visual, I feel like the visual wants to be seen. Let me see if there are any more flanking this before we move forward in the story. Okay. So Three of Swords, and swords also in the tarot, swords are about communication, and they're also air signs. So we could be dealing with a Gemini, Libra, or Aquarius, and this could be you or them, depending on, how it shakes up in the story for you. And this, and again, this is for our buddy Country, but I don't know. And I have to say, Country, I don't know. I can't tell if you want to talk about but in the picture it kind of looks, I can't tell if it's this is going to sound so bizarre, but it's almost like I can't see your little picture next to your name, but I feel like I see an old Native American woman, and then I see a man with a beard. So I have no idea if that means anything to you. It's like your picture like went away, like I can't see you, if that makes any sense. That's really intense. I don't know if that means anything to you. Okay, but they're being like really. But I love that your Country, Love, Homestead. So you've got love and homestead. Homestead is about home. Right now in real time, we're in Taurus energy. We're in the Taurus moon. Tomorrow will be the full moon in Scorpio. So if you're dealing with, anybody who's got a heavy water in their sign or Scorpio in their sign, I'm hearing this could be for somebody else. This may not be for Country, Love, Homestead. This might be for somebody else. And by the way, if you want me to say another name, I can do that. If not, I'll just keep referring to you as that, or I can call you Love. I can call you Love. We all had our thing. Um, but I'm definitely feeling that there's something with this moon, and maybe they're riling them up, you know, because some moons fuck with other signs more than others. They just do, and it could be really, really, really intense. So the reverse of this Three of Swords in the heart is destruction, strife. The healing process is blocked. Until you work through your grief, you will not be able to move on. So the fact that they're saying grief, I'm getting the chills. So I feel like this is a death of a situation, a death of a relationship. I don't know if that connects with you in any way. The key words are delay, personal betrayal, loss, a time of drama and tears, sadness, conflict, and a spell that has backfired. Also, I'm getting this weird, did one of you guys push each other into something like, it almost feels like a threat. Like, I can get somebody else, or I don't need you, or something, or like, I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Okay, country is fine. Okay. um, well, it's the K. I was like, I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm a triple Sag, my moon's in Scorpio, so like I'm all about like be who you are, man. Like I fucking love it. So I was just like, I mean, and I'm sorry, but it's funny that I was saying cunty because I feel like maybe you're like a really powerful energy. And I didn't mean to bark at you when you were coming in. It was just like sometimes when people come in and that happens, I'm like, whoa, 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 like, because when I'm doing this, I'm channeling so many energies from all over the universe. And then I'm like, still like here with you guys. And then you guys are in other places, which by the way, do you want to say where you're from? You don't have to. You can even say the state or the country, but yeah, I just think that's interesting. There's something with that. Is there an old betrayal possibly? Because right when I looked at the book, I saw three fairies hover about looking dejected. A fairy couple embraces as if confronting each other, while the third fairy flies away. So I don't know what this is. Oh, okay. Is there a kid? Is there a child in this situation? Is there a child? That is the first time that came through. Is there a child? Like, do you have a child or do they have a child? Because I felt a very, very strong. Why isn't this? It's like it doesn't even want to be seen. What's going on? I'm feeling a really strong child energy. Oh, I love Mississippi. I'm from Chicago originally, but like I've driven to Florida back and forth a few times. Okay, you both have kids, but not together. Okay. So is there, okay. Well, because this is really important. This is why, I always tell people I read tarot, but I'm not a tarot reader. Meaning like I'm a medium and I'm a telepathic medium, empath, all I can list all the blah blah blah. All the clairs, but I'm just this vessel that receives messages and they come in all forms. Sometimes it's like I'm watching a movie, sometimes, whatever. But when my first reaction when see the Three of Hearts is always, heartbreak, a third party, kind of like some tarot meanings, but also because of my like seeing, whoever designed this deck, right? Ellen Dugan, who designed this deck, they designed this for a reason. So these energies were present, and it was almost like, so the book has like so much, right? Like, hold on, I don't want to burn it, right? But it was like my eyes instantly went to, it was as if all the other words like fell away and my eyes went to instantly the fairies. Okay, so we both have kids. We had a rough time with communication. It's like he is older, so he feels like he's always right, and that annoys me, but I try to be understanding. How old are you, if you don't mind me saying? I'm seeing 26. Woo! We lost connection and then it went back. Oh my gosh. Are you guys still here? Let me know if you're still here. Yeah, what's really rough about that? That's his own shit. Okay. Wasn't Michelle 35 too? Or was that you that was 35? I'm like, they're all blending together. That's so wild. That's so wild. Also, 35 is the number 8, and 8 is about infinity. Um, Oh man, I feel like we need to pull another card. I don't know if it's from this one. I want to ask Spirit. Let me see. I'm grabbing my other deck. Hold on. Is there anything on the bottom? Oh, okay. So this is going to be a tough one for them. So this is the Knight of Wands, but it was in reverse. So is he a fire sign? Leo, Aries, or Sag? I'm like, wait, I'm like, who is the Cancer now? Is it? Sometimes when I'm, oh no, that was them. Okay, I just want to make sure. Oh, he's Libra and you're Virgo. That's interesting. Well, wands are about taking action and it was in reverse. So let's see if they want me to, I feel like they want me to go to the book. So what I was going to say is, my mama used to say, anyway, my southern side of the family, my mama, bless her beautiful soul on this Mother's Day, her first Mother's Day on the other side, bless you, mama. She died last August 18th. But just because people age doesn't mean they get wiser. But some people, because they're older, think they're wiser, but that's not always the case. So I am going to ask Spirit something really quick because I feel like, okay. Yeah, okay, so this is gonna be one of those I'm gonna be a mama moment and just say, yeah, it's time to let him go. And here's the thing. The divine masculine is crumbling all around us. We can see it, we can feel it. It's happening outwardly. You know, there are a bunch of children, you know, fighting for their toys and control, and the ego is rampant. And empaths like us are drawn to narcissists. And I mean, the fact that you're telling me that says so much, right? Because the narcissist empath has become, you know, almost cliche, but it's there for a reason. My partner, I've tried to break up with him for like 10 years because I was like, gosh, I'm like, you're such a fucking narcissist, man. Like, I'm like, I can't handle it. But then I find myself in situations where I was being very narcissistic too. I was like, I was just as narcissistic as he could be. So we taught each other a lot. We grew together. Now, I have fought like the twin flame thing forever because I was like, it's a bunch of malarkey, whatever. But then over time, I started to realize, like, no, I think there's something to it. But I also started to realize that it's not that they're few and far between. It's just that people mistake toxic relationships for there's a fine line between having a twin flame, somebody who helped you grow and become the best version of yourself, you know, through, yeah, you're going to quibble and quarrel and have moments that aren't so great, but in the end you come back together and you communicate, you know. I mean, the fact that you were saying like the communication isn't working and you don't want somebody around you telling you how to raise your kids or what to do, or just because they're older does not make them wiser. And I have the feeling that this person, nothing against them, God bless them, wherever they are in their path and purpose is where they're meant to be. You're at your level of consciousness, they're at their level of consciousness. Well, and that's good. That's good. If they're helping you grow, then that's wonderful. But then what they need to work on is their ego, because they wouldn't be constantly telling you what to do if if they weren't run by their ego. Do you hear what I'm saying? You know, and the ego, we need it to survive. If we didn't have it, we wouldn't care what happened to us. So we do need the ego. It was put in place for a reason. But it's like any other thing. Like the internet is awesome, right? We're connecting. You're in Mississippi, I'm in Washington, right? Like, well, we get to connect like this through this little device, but we don't even need this device. We're all so connected already. We've just been blinded by bullshit for years telling us who we are, what we're supposed to do, where we're supposed to be, who we're supposed to, you know, bless, who we're supposed to worship, who we're supposed to sleep with, be friends with, you know, all of it. It's just been such, the fakery and the fuckery runs deep for everybody. And as we've seen today, in 3 completely different countries so far, and others who are watching this too, you know, There are multiple things that are happening on multiple levels right now. So if you feel that this person, they're, I'm not going to tell you who they are for you, because they may be your beshert, your beloved, I don't know. But they also might just be somebody who came to teach you a ton. And now it's time for you to like move forward, because right now the divine masculine needs to work on themselves and not be pushing what, what you should be doing. The divine feminine, we need to focus on the love. We need to focus on our heart chakra, our heart center, but there's one thing, what's that old saying? Um, don't mistake my kindness for weakness, because you'll be mistaken. I mean, you're obviously a powerful healer, leader, and some capacity light worker. You are here for a reason. I'm telling you, and I say this not with my ego or pride, but just in my learnings and teachings all from all over the world, and studying with different energies and entities from all over the world, that your path and your purpose is great. And it may be possibly greater than theirs, or maybe theirs is just as great as yours, but they're stuck in their masculine right now. Maybe they're stuck in that, because if you feel like you can talk to them and say, when they're talking down to you or whatever, if you feel like you can say to them, in a loving manner, I don't appreciate that. I'm 35 years old. I'm grown, and thank you so much. You've taught me so much. Starting with gratitude is always the best way to go in any situation. Unless it's like, a moment where you're like, I have to talk to this person right now. But the vibe that I got is that it's about setting your boundaries and speaking your truth. And like you said, just because they're older doesn't necessarily mean that they are wiser. Or so the key words for this are haste, taking dangerous risks, confusion, and a disrupted or derailed project. So that's how it came out in reverse. So, like I said, maybe he was just there for that time, and maybe it's just time for you to work on you and take your focus off. Because that's the big thing that's really happening right now, is a lot of women are breaking up with men, and men are getting really confused, and we're going to be seeing this disruption well into 2026, towards the end, until 2027. 2027 will be the number 11. And it's going to take the next few years for a lot of things to kind of like break apart and fall apart before they fall back in together. And I'm just getting the vibe that focus on you right now. Take those, and I'm also feeling like this is past relationships too, that you have a lot of your own pain and suffering and hurt. And I'm sure that they've helped you in some ways. But, I had this guy in my life who started out as a lover. And over the year that we were lovers, I tried so hard to make him my boyfriend. And he would say to me several times, I'm not here for that. That's not my purpose. I'm not here to be your lover. I'm not here to be your partner. I'm here to help you. And they did. They helped me work through a lot of sexual trauma. They were also a healer. And I remember when they told me they weren't going to see me anymore, and I got really upset. And I said, why? And he's like, because you're getting too attached, and you're not even attached to me. You just think you are. He's like, because we've been working so intimately, and I would sleep around when I was drunk for companionship or to get laid or whatever. But truthfully, it was just because I was broken and I was really damaged, and I didn't want to face all the horrible things, the rape, the trauma, the child molestation, all the things that had happened to me, the things that I'd witnessed, been a part of. I just didn't want to face it. I didn't want to look at it. I didn't want to see my shadow. And they helped me walk through that darkness. They helped me walk through that shadow. And it was one of the hardest things that I've ever done, so some people come in for a minute and some stay a lifetime. And that's the whole point, is we get so attached, and Spirit is teaching us detachment right now. They're teaching us, that to be grateful for the experience, but then to move on. And like I said, they're not showing me anything beyond that, whether or not this person is meant to keep moving forward in your life. But you know what's interesting? When I saw DJ, the first thing I saw was like music and like a DJ, like not their name. And I kind of felt like it's time for you to get back to you. So like maybe there was something you used to do, something that was like in your heart that you loved doing. Maybe it was something with music, because that's what I felt. It could be playing music. It could be anything. It could be art. It could be just some type of art form, the arts. But I'm definitely feeling that. And also about getting the stability back in your life. 4 of autumn. I think you said, was there 4 kids total with all of you guys? That's interesting. But isn't that interesting? By the way, I didn't see this before, but look at how this one's kind of looking down on this one, like, ew, like I'm the royalty, blah, 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 blah. But that's their divine feminine. That must have been somebody in their family. I'm wondering if DJ's parent or their mother was like really condescending, or someone in their family was very condescending from a divine feminine energy. And I feel like he likes to play the hero. I think he likes to be like, here, I come to save the day, and he's like, oh, I'm the hero, and that's cool. And he did, he helped you, right? Like he helped you, but you know, okay. So then the 4 must be for grounding. Thank you. Because I mean, all I see is like, and then this is interesting too, because manage your resources wisely. And this is none of my beeswax, but it's hard too when we have to make money for ourselves or have, I've had people support me before, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. We've all worked hard in our lifetimes. I tell people all the time, like, I don't judge, but I know that sometimes it's like, it's the standing on our own feet without someone else that really brings the reward, because there could be a door or some place that's untapped that you haven't seen yet, that what's that old saying, whatever you're looking for is looking for you. That's been coming up a lot. I think that's the second time that came up today. So I feel like whatever you're looking for is looking for you. But if you're entangled in the past, and oh my gosh, this just flew out at me. Oh gosh, another one in reverse. The Emperor in reverse. Yes. Look at him in his armor. Well, it could be that too. Maybe he's acting like that because he doesn't want to, maybe there's a lot of shit he hasn't healed yet either, in the divine masculine. There's definitely some divine masculine and divine feminine, like unhealed energy coming through here. And this is going to be hard to hear sometimes, but sometimes the student out teaches the master. Right? Think about it. Buddha had to start from somewhere, and then he became Buddha. Jesus had to, some believe that Jesus studied with Buddha, and, when they say that he disappeared for all these years and then he came back, and then there's like proof at the same time that, Buddha worked with a man, from the Middle East. All these things that it's like, well, if it's true, you know what I mean? So, somebody always has to start somewhere. There's nothing wrong with you. And what sucks the hardest, you guys, and whoever this message is for, not just for you, sweetie, because I feel like, and I don't normally say sweetie, I don't know why that came out, but I mean in a loving way. Maybe he says that to you. Does he say that to you in a condescending way? I rarely use that terminology. But I have had people who condescended to me. So maybe that came out, and you're triggering that for all of us, right? Like it's being condescended to. Sweetie, hey baby, little slap on the ass, a little blah, blah, blah. And the women are taking our pride and our power and our dignity back. And men don't like that. A lot of men don't like that. Some men love it. They're like, fuck yeah, I love your strength. Be strong. The divine feminine, right? That's why we're here right now. Today we are honoring our divine feminine energy and ancestry. Our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, our, many lineages before who fought and died in childbirth, suffered. When you think of like now women are like, oh, I'm just going to have a pill so I don't feel the baby. Those weren't always around, but there were more natural medicines, And again, not judging you if you need an epidural. I'm not going to fucking judge you. I had pancreatitis, and one of my nurses was like, I've done childbirth 3 times and I've had pancreatitis. And she's like, you win. She's like, I don't know what the fuck that pain was. She's like, that was the worst pain of my life, but I would never. But I'm just saying. Anyway, I digress. But you know what I mean? It's like, it's definitely a badge of honor, and the divine feminine is here to rise above all the pain and the heartache and the bullshit and the controlling and the, all of you that were here today, thank you, because you all had different questions and you all brought different medicine for all of us to learn from. So with that, I am in great, great awe and honor to all of you for being here today. That's really interesting. So let's see, do we have any more messages for country? Okay. Yeah. The message that we got today from Spirit for the title of this reading was, she's in love with you, right? And that was the goddess mother saying, like, She loves you. She loves all of us. It's time for us to really love ourselves and not allow the divine masculine to control our issues anymore. And this can go from anything, you know. I mean, I know one of our tribe members, they're in a quote unquote their own self-proclaimed lesbian marriage relationship, and one of, you know, them is so heavy masculine. So, you know, this isn't always just about the outward appearance or like the outwardly. This is about getting that energy under control. And I noticed that the more we were moving forward and the more that everything and the times and everything were changing, especially when the American president was nominated, I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now? I'm like, what is happening? But they're also like, you can love or hate everything that's happening right now, but everything is serving a purpose because certain things are getting uncovered. But it's also, it's like, be careful what you wish for, because yeah, you might uncover this, but you're going to uncover your own shit too. So, you know what I mean? It's only a matter of time, because fucking karma is very real and she never forgets an address. So right now, you know, it's going to be difficult for the men to just pass the reins back over, because they ripped it out of the women's hand, the divine feminine's hands, a long time ago. And they've been controlling this planet for a long time. And now we're like, nope, I don't think so. And there are many countries that are actually led by women, comfortably voted them into office because they wanted them there, because they know that it is better. You know, our country was like, oh, you don't want a woman with her period in office. You know, she has a bad flow day and she's going to fucking hit the nuclear bomb. That's the shit I heard growing up, you know, in the 70s as a kid. And I'm like, what the fuck? Yet I was like, really? Because it seems like the women are always the most level headed. And the times, yes, I did see them go a little, you know, as quote unquote, they would say, off their meds during that time. But that is natural. We are meant to like work with our hormones, and we've been like pushed. Even that has been pushed back and pushed back. You don't talk about your period, your moon. You don't talk about that shit. Men don't want to hear about it. Yes, they do. Men want to know. They want to be educated. Most women aren't educated on their own menstrual cycle, or like why it's there, or why does it go by the moon cycles. Did you ever think about that? Why is the moon, you know, why on a full moon that like we, oh, you know, we're putting that energy out because we're connecting to the outer spheres, you know? There's just so many levels of this. So for some of you who are new to this channel and new to these readings, you know, you'll see that like we talk about a lot of different things all the time. And this is the common thread that's going through all relationships, is the battle of the divine feminine and the divine masculine. But it's not a fucking battle. It's about staying grounded on all fours, having a strong, sturdy table, a strong foundation that we can build from. No more slide-eyed, no more like, I'm because I said so kind of mentality. No more, oh, I'm gonna save you. You know what? We're gonna fucking save ourselves. We don't need anybody to save us. Even as far as Jesus goes, Jesus just said that too, right? Like he's not the Lord and Savior. He was a representation of the Christ consciousness of the love inside all of us. He was here to wake it up. He was here going through the churches, flipping over tables and saying, look at all this wealth, but there's people starving over there. How does this fucking make sense to you? This makes sense to you? This doesn't make sense to me, right? And that's what we're doing. And that's why we need the warriors and the healers and the fighters and the deep down believers in what's fair, right? We're in the legend of Billie Jean. What's fair is fair. You know, like we're all here to fight for like, and enough is enough. Stop grabbing my ass. No, you can't fucking just twist my nipple. What is wrong with you? Like, you know what I mean? Like men touching us, women touching men. It's the same. Like, why are we touching each other? Grabbing a man by his balls, like, you know, women or men, like, why are we doing these things? This is a time where spirit is having us really pull back and look at everything and say, what is working? What isn't working? And let me see, do we have any more messages for country? Do we have any more messages, any more cards? Do you want me to say anything else about this reading? Do you have any last things you want to say, country? We're going to wrap it up. Unless anybody wants to ask a question. I think I have it in me to do like one more. I may have to stop and go to the bathroom though. Because, you know, I drink so much water before I start these things. And I haven't eaten in almost 24 hours. Actually, no, when did I eat last? 8 o'clock last night. That's not too bad. So does anybody have anything else? Anything you want to say or to wrap up? I'm going to start pulling these back. And see if anything else comes through. Okay. No, I think that's it, unless Spirit has something else. Oh, okay. Oh, well, thank you so much for being here. We love you, Country Love Homestead. We love all you guys for being here. And Jessica is here. I'm going to read her comment in a minute. And that's it. I don't think so. Spirit, do you have anything else for, let me see. Wait, hold on. We might. Do we have anything? What's this one? Oh, they told me to, oh, it's because I was putting the fairy tarot in with the witch's tarot. They were trying to stop me. Do we have any more messages for Country before we go? No, and then let's see. Okay, and so Jessica says, your tray looks exactly like the fairy pool yesterday. I want to make for the bees and hummingbirds. Where is the best place to put it that is best for the loves to be able to find it? Fairy garden or, oh, okay. What's going on? So this strength card came back up. This was in the other reading. I don't know if this is for your message, Jessica, or for somebody else that just came in. Number 11, strength. The grace and inner strength needed to overcome challenges. The power of kindness and forgiveness. Time to embrace how wonderful you are. Oh, cute. I feel like that's a message from the fairies for you, Jessica. It's like a wink, wink, like you put it anywhere you want to put it. Like use your intuition. Use your intuition, but they appreciate you asking them. I'm going to see if any other cards are coming through for anybody else in the tribe or the fairies talking to you. Do we have any more messages, Spirit, from anybody, anywhere, anytime, anything? Okay, let's do one more check-in. Also, we worked with Spearmint. Oh, gosh, you know what? I don't know if this was for Michelle or if this, I think this was for Michelle, but I'm going to say this for everybody, and then I'll put like, maybe I'll put like a little timestamp in to let everybody see it. But I was getting the vibe. Oh yes, it was for Michelle because she was talking about crystals. I heard from Spirit to get like protection plants, you know, like spearmint, holy basil, rosemary. Rosemary bushes are really protective and you can bring those with you anywhere. Like things like that. So for some of you, maybe it's time to work with some herbs and natural things and to getting out into nature. That was definitely something that came through. We talked about today being a 7. Is there anything else in our notes, Spirit? Oh, Baba says hello. Baba just came in. Hi, Baba. Oh, Baba just said happy Mother's Day. Oh, to all of us. I kind of started to shed a tear a little bit this morning because this is my first Mother's Day without Baba. 13 Mother's Day with my sweet little angel. Sweet, sweet angel. 13 Mother's Days. And, you know, my partner used to sometimes get me something from Baba, or he would be like, Baba and I said happy Mother's Day. He'd get me something nice. Oh, Jessica. Yeah. So it was really cute. It was just really nice. I just, honestly, it's interesting. Even though in a way it's not my holiday, it is my holiday, right? You know, I mean, I was a mother. My baby Star, she did not get to live fully in this lifetime, but she was in my womb in this lifetime, and I know, and I was reminded what it felt like to be pregnant. I know I've had children in other lifetimes, and we're all mothers at heart. You know, we all have mothering instincts, and it doesn't matter if it's your fur baby, your reptile baby, your human baby, your tree baby, whatever it is, your plant babies. Spirit says you have the strength of the goddess within you. Maybe we'll bring her back out. You have the strength of the goddess within you to help heal the world. That's what we're doing here. We're helping to heal the world. I'm going to put her back over here. We're helping to heal the world, and we have to trust her. See, it says trust on the money. You know, there's some things, I'm not going to lie. I think they're right. I think we should take religion out of the White House. You know what I mean? Like in some ways, because like not everybody believes that, but at the same time, you know, you have to believe in something, and there's a higher power, but I can't tell somebody what to believe in. You know what I mean? It's a very slippery slope. Spirit said it's a slippery slope. For my scryers, I always like to do like a fun, ooh, I think it wants to stay there. It's a slippery slope. But it's just really about trusting Spirit. It's about trusting Gaia. You know, the one thing that we cannot get back is this planet. We got to take care of her. We got to love her. We got to cherish her. You know, earlier we were using, let's see if they have me pull them out. Earlier we were using those things about the love and planet. But that's basically what it is right now. It's all about love and planet. Look at this was in reverse, the 4 of summer. And this says, being distracted and failing Failing to see a magical opportunity. Taking someone or something for granted. Discontentment with life. But see, it was in reverse. And I feel like this is what they're saying about us with spirit. You know, if you're discontented with life, then it's like, then you're not in a belief. Because when we believe in magic and miracles, we're just naturally happy. You're going to have a moment and you're going to have a day where things aren't going to go your way. And you're going to, you know, it's like, that's life, man. That's fucking humanity. We have good days and we have bad days. And on the good days, we are so, so grateful. And on the bad days, we look forward to the good days and we say, okay, I'm going to take this medicine today and I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to move forward and I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to become the best version of my human self I've ever been. But if you found yourself here today, make no mistake about it. You are a light worker. You are a healer. You were brought here for a reason, and we're going to keep connecting here on Sundays until they tell me not to. Any more messages, Spirit? Nope. Any for the witches? Do we have any more messages before we go? Any messages, Spirit? Nope. That's it. So happy Mother's Day to everybody. To our, oh, here it is. It just flew out. To our beloved goddess energy. You know, this planet is all we got, you guys. This is it. One love, one earth, one planet. This is it. We got to take good care of it. And we have to trust and believe that there's outer forces. Maddie wanted to come in on behalf of the Arcturians. I definitely felt that. You know, the Arcturians are blue and they're magical and they're the angel realm. I believe it's the angel realm. And in my experience working with all different, like from my astral traveling, when I'm working, when I'm sleeping, all that. I work when I'm asleep, I work when I'm awake. But when all of this is happening, I always like feel this pull back to like this Arcturian energy and how it's very angelic. So if it's not the angel realm, they're definitely like the angels of like the outer realms. Does that make sense? I don't know how to say it any other way. But they're here to tell us that we're divinely protected and the divine feminine is going to win, but we have to stay in our heart space, our heart chakra, our heart center. We're pink, we're green, colors of love. We're black and red when you want protection. But with the green and the pink is showing the world that no matter what you did, you're not the sum of all your deeds and that you're lovable. Yes, a serial killer can be lovable. We don't know what happened. We don't know why that triggered, what happened, what, you know what I mean? We're all human. We all have a place here. We may not understand it. We may not, you know what I mean? And it's vile and dark and disgusting to go down some places, but we have to go there. We have to see that shadow. We have to go into the dark night of the soul so that we can find our light again. Because once we come out of the dark night of the soul and find the light, we can look at the shadow with gratitude and not fear. There is no more fear. Trust that spirit has your back. Trust that they're always, always, always looking out for you. Oh, now look down. I was 2:22. So 2 hours and 22 minutes later, I say thank you and I bid you adieu with grace and gratitude. Love yourself, love each other. If you would like to work with me one-on-one, my information is in the description box. If you would like to contribute to the work that is done on this channel, you can do so through the links that I have there, if it's in your wheelhouse to do so. If you cannot, then just please send a prayer my way and your way, because it's all about the exchange of energy today and beyond. That is all it is. We are all just energy, and we are just walking each other home to whatever that home is, wherever that place is. We're here in community and support of each other. But I will never ever turn, thank you Jessica, you too. I will never turn anyone away. You know, it's like, you are welcome here. You are welcome here. It's about what you can do and what you can to support the work on this channel and this community and yourself. But this is a place of learning. This is a place of teaching and growth and understanding and unconditional compassion, especially for our empaths. Most people on here are. We have a harder road than most. And with great strength comes great responsibility. But you are not alone. Your community is here. I'm Tallulah Kelly. I'm the magical medium. Thank you so much for being here today on Sacred Sunday, and I'll see you next time. Blessed be. Oh, and have a blessed week. I love you. Oh, and P.S. Look out for the full moon and Scorpio reading. I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. I don't know when I'll post it, but that'll be coming out soon. And I don't know if it's going to be a group reading or if it's going to be pick a reading. But stay tuned. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this information. I'll see you next time. Bye. Love you.